The GPS announces they've arrived. Emma Park looks up from her phone to see a sprawling estate at the end of a tree-lined driveway, the kind of house that appears in architectural magazines and makes normal people feel inadequate about their studio apartments. "This is where you grew up?" Emma asks her boyfriend Ryan. Ryan Whitmore shifts uncomfortably in the driver's seat. "Yeah. The family home. It's been in the Whitmore line for 6 generations. You never mentioned your family was rich." "I don't like to make a big deal about it." Ryan parks in front of the main entrance, a massive oak door flanked by stone columns. "Listen, Em, before we go in, I need to tell you something about my family. That they're secretly royalty? That I need to curtsy? No, it's just—" Ryan runs his hand through his hair, a nervous habit Emma has learned means he's stressed. "They can be intense. Very traditional. Very particular about things. Just follow my lead, okay? If something seems weird, just go along with it. Please." Emma reaches over and takes his hand. They've been dating for 8 months. This is the first time he's brought her to meet his family. That has to mean something. "Ryan, I love you. Whatever your family is like, I can handle it." "I hope so," Ryan mutters, so quietly Emma almost doesn't hear it. Before Emma can ask what he means, the front door opens. A woman in her 50s emerges, elegant, blonde, wearing a dress that probably costs more than Emma's car. Her smile is perfect, but doesn't quite reach her eyes. "Ryan, darling." The woman embraces him, then turns to Emma. "And you must be Emma. We've heard so much about you. I'm Victoria, Ryan's mother. Welcome to Whitmore Manor." "Thank you for having me, Mrs. Whitmore." Emma shakes her hand. Victoria's grip is firm, her skin cool despite the warm September evening. "Please, call me Victoria. We're very informal here." "Well, relatively informal." Victoria's laugh sounds rehearsed. "Come in, come in. The family is gathering in the dining room. We're so excited to meet you." Inside, Whitmore Manor is exactly as intimidating as Emma expected. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, portraits of stern-looking ancestors lining the walls. Everything is pristine, expensive, and vaguely unsettling in a way Emma can't quite articulate. Victoria leads them through a maze of corridors to a formal dining room. A long mahogany table is set for dinner. Fine china, silver cutlery, candlelight. Around the table sit 5 people, all rising when Emma enters. "Everyone, this is Emma Park, Ryan's girlfriend." Victoria makes introductions. "My husband, Richard. Ryan's older brother, Marcus. His wife, Sophia. Ryan's sister, Lillian. And Ryan's grandmother, Eleanor." Emma shakes hands with each of them, trying to remember names and suppress the feeling that she's being evaluated. They're all beautiful in that unsettling way wealthy families sometimes are. Perfect features, flawless skin, expensive clothes. And they all have the same cool handshake as Victoria. "Emma teaches high school English," Ryan says, pulling out a chair for her. "She's amazing with the kids." "How lovely," Eleanor says from the head of the table. She's elderly but moves with surprising grace. "Education is so important. Though I imagine teaching can be quite draining." "It has its challenges," Emma admits. "But I love it. There's nothing like seeing a student finally understand something they've been struggling with." "Quite," Eleanor says, studying Emma with pale eyes. "And you and Ryan have been together how long?" 8 months, Emma replies. "Interesting. Ryan doesn't usually bring his companions home." "Grandmother," Ryan says with a warning tone. "I'm simply making conversation, dear." Eleanor's smile is thin. "Tell me, Emma, what do you know about our family?" Emma glances at Ryan, who looks tense. "Not much, honestly. Ryan doesn't talk about his family often." "Doesn't he? How curious." Eleanor leans forward. "The Whitmores have a very distinguished history. We've been in this country since colonial times. Built our fortune through various enterprises. We have certain traditions. Certain expectations for family members. Grandmother, maybe we should eat first, Marcus suggests. He's older than Ryan, with the same dark hair but harder features. Emma must be hungry after the drive. As if on cue, staff members, when did they arrive? Begin serving the first course. Some kind of soup, rich and dark. Emma picks up her spoon, but notices something odd. None of the Whitmores are eating. They're holding spoons, making motions, but not actually consuming anything. Is something wrong with the soup? Emma asks. Not at all, Victoria says quickly. We're just waiting for everyone to be served. Family tradition. Finally, the last bowl is placed, and the Whitmores begin eating. Or pretending to eat. Emma watches carefully and realizes they're performing the act of eating without actually putting food in their mouths. It's subtle, masterfully done, but once she notices it, it's unmistakable. Emma, Ryan tells us you're quite the literature enthusiast, Sophia says. She's stunning, dark-haired, with a European accent Emma can't quite place. What are you currently reading? I'm rereading Dracula, actually. Teaching it to my senior class. The room goes silent. Every Whitmore stops moving, spoons frozen in mid-air. How appropriate, Eleanor says finally. And what do you think of the book? It's fascinating, really. The way Stoker explores themes of modernity versus tradition, of foreign threats to Victorian society. And of course, the vampire mythology is endlessly interesting. The rules, the limitations, the powers. And what rules would those be? Marcus asks, his voice carefully neutral. Oh, you know. The classics. Vampires can't enter a home without invitation, they can't cross running water, they're burned by sunlight, repelled by garlic and crosses. They need to drink blood to survive. Emma laughs. It's fun to analyze as literature, even if it's all fiction. Fiction, Richard repeats. He's been quiet until now, an imposing man with silver at his temples. Yes, of course. Fiction. The tension in the room is palpable. Ryan is gripping his fork so hard his knuckles are white. Emma decides to change the subject. This house is beautiful. How long have you lived here? 6 generations, Victoria says, seeming to relax slightly. The original structure was built in 1823. We've added wings and modernized over the years, but the core remains unchanged. Every Whitmore is born here. Every Whitmore returns here eventually. That's quite a legacy. Indeed. Legacy is very important to this family. Bloodline. Tradition. Continuity. Victoria exchanges glances with Richard. Which brings us to an important topic. Ryan, perhaps you should explain. Ryan sets down his fork. My family has certain expectations. Certain requirements for people who join the family. It's complicated, but what Ryan is trying to say, Eleanor interrupts, is that we need to know if you're serious about him. If this relationship has a future. Because if it does, there are things you need to understand about the Whitmores. Things you need to accept. I am serious about Ryan, Emma says firmly. I love him. And I'll do my best to fit in with your family, even if your traditions are a bit intense. Intense, Lillian repeats with a short laugh. She's the youngest Whitmore, probably mid-20s, with the same perfect features as the rest. That's one word for it. Lillian, not now, Ryan says. When then? She's going to find out eventually. Might as well be now, before she's in too deep. Find out what? Emma looks around the table, seeing the weighted glances between family members. What are you all talking about? Silence. Then Eleanor speaks. Emma, dear, there's no easy way to say this. The Whitmore family has a secret. A secret that's been kept for nearly 200 years. A secret that defines who we are, how we live, what we require to survive. Ryan has been hesitant to tell you because he knows how shocking it will be. But if you're to be part of this family, you must know the truth. Emma's heart is pounding. What truth? Eleanor's pale eyes meet hers. We're vampires, Emma. Every member of the Whitmore family. We're all vampires. The words hang in the air. Emma stares at Eleanor, waiting for the punchline. This has to be a joke. Some weird family hazing ritual for new girlfriends. But no one is laughing. That's not funny, Emma says. It's not meant to be, Richard replies. It's the truth. We're vampires. We have been for generations. We drink blood to survive. We don't age. We're stronger and faster than humans. Everything from your Dracula book, mostly accurate. Except we can enter homes without invitation, that's a myth, and garlic is just unpleasant, not deadly. Emma stands up. Okay, this is insane. Ryan, tell them to stop. This isn't funny. Ryan won't meet her eyes. Sit down, please. Just let them explain. Explain what? That they're vampires? Ryan, that's not real. Vampires don't exist. Don't we? Marcus stands, and suddenly he's moving with inhuman speed. One moment he's at his seat, the next he's beside Emma, having crossed 15 feet in a blink. His eyes have changed, darker, with something red flickering in the depths. When he smiles, his teeth are too sharp. Emma screams, stumbling backward. Marcus is back in his seat before she can process what happened, looking normal again. I apologize for the dramatic demonstration, Eleanor says calmly. But you needed to understand we're serious. This isn't a joke or a psychological test. We are genuinely what we claim to be. Emma looks at Ryan, desperate for him to deny this, to tell her it's all an elaborate prank. But Ryan just looks guilty and sad. You're one of them, Emma whispers. You're a vampire. Yes, Ryan admits quietly. I was born this way. All of us were. It's genetic, passed down through bloodlines. Emma's legs give out. She sinks back into her chair, mind reeling. This can't be real. Vampires aren't real. But Marcus moved faster than humanly possible. And the family's strange behavior all evening. Not really eating, cool skin, the way they move. I need to leave, Emma says. I need to go. Now. I'm afraid that's not possible, Victoria says gently. At least not yet. You know our secret now, Emma. We can't simply let you leave without certain assurances. Assurances? What are you going to do? Kill me? Of course not, Eleanor says, sounding offended. We're not monsters. We don't kill humans indiscriminately. We haven't hunted in decades. We use blood banks, ethical sourcing. We're civilized. Civilized vampires, Emma repeats numbly. That's what you're telling me. You're civilized vampires who just happen to need human blood to survive. Essentially, yes, Richard confirms. And because you now know this, we need to discuss what happens next. You have 3 options. Emma's survival instincts kick in. She forces herself to calm down, to think clearly. What options? Option 1, Eleanor says. You stay. You accept what we are. You become part of this family, with all that entails. Eventually, if you and Ryan marry, you would be turned. Become one of us. Immortal, powerful, part of the Whitmore legacy. Option 2, Victoria continues. You leave but agree to absolute secrecy. We would have to implement certain safeguards, regular check-ins, monitoring, consequences for exposure. It's not ideal, but it's possible. And option 3? Emma asks, though she's not sure she wants to know. The Whitmores exchange glances. Finally, Marcus speaks. Option 3 is that we make you forget. Vampire blood has certain properties. We can use it to erase memories, to make you believe tonight never happened. You would wake up tomorrow thinking you had a pleasant dinner with Ryan's family, no memory of what we truly are. You can erase memories? Emma's scientific mind rebels at this. That's not medically possible. Neither are vampires, yet here we are, Lillian points out. Vampire biology doesn't follow human rules. Our blood can heal, alter memories, even turn humans into our kind under the right circumstances. Emma looks at Ryan. Did you know? When you invited me here, did you know they would tell me? Yes, Ryan admits. I told them I was serious about you, that I wanted a future with you. They said if that was true, you needed to know. I'm sorry, Em. I should have warned you better. Should have prepared you. But I didn't know how. So you just brought me here and let them ambush me with, surprise, we're vampires? I know it's a lot. A lot? Ryan, this is insane. This is... Emma stops, realizing something. Wait. If you're a vampire, if you've been a vampire this whole time we've been dating, have you been feeding on me? Have you been drinking my blood without me knowing? No. Ryan looks horrified. God, no, Em. I would never do that. I swear I've never fed from you. I use blood bank donations, just like the rest of my family. I would never hurt you. But you could, Emma says. You could have, this entire time. I've been dating a predator and didn't even know it. I'm not a predator. I'm just... different. But I'm still me. Still the person you fell in love with. This doesn't change who I am inside. It changes everything, Emma says, but even as she says it, she's not sure it's true. Looking at Ryan, she sees the same person she's known for 8 months. The same gentle eyes, the same nervous habits, the same man who brings her coffee exactly how she likes it and cries during sad movies. The vampire thing is new information, but is it enough to erase everything else? Emma, Eleanor says, not unkindly, I know this is overwhelming, but we need your decision. Will you stay, leave with secrecy agreements, or allow us to alter your memories? Can I have time to think? Of course. We're not unreasonable. You may have the rest of the evening. We'll resume this conversation in the morning. Victoria stands. Ryan, why don't you show Emma to the guest room? I'm sure she'd like to rest and process everything. Ryan leads Emma through the mansion to a luxurious bedroom on the 2nd floor. The moment they're alone, Emma rounds on him. How could you not tell me? 8 months. Ryan. 8 months of dating and you never thought to mention, oh, by the way, I'm a vampire? I wanted to. But how? How do you tell someone that? Hey, I really like you. Also, I'm an undead creature that drinks blood? It's not exactly first date conversation. It's not 100th date conversation either, apparently. I was scared, Ryan admits. Scared of losing you. Scared of seeing you look at me the way you're looking at me right now, like I'm a monster. You are a monster, Ryan. Literally. By definition. I'm a person who happens to be a vampire. There's a difference. Emma sits on the bed, head in her hands. I need you to be honest with me. Completely honest. About everything. Okay, Ryan says carefully. Have you ever killed anyone? No. Never. I was raised by my family to view human life as sacred. We don't hunt. We don't kill. We're very careful about that. But your ancestors did. The original Whitmores who became vampires, they must have killed people. Ryan is quiet. Yes. The family history isn't pretty. In the early days, before they figured out ethical alternatives, there were deaths. But that was almost 2 centuries ago. We're different now. Are you? Or are you just better at hiding it? We're different. I swear to you, Em. My family has spent generations trying to be more than our nature. Trying to find ways to coexist with humanity without harming anyone. Emma looks at him. Can you prove that? Any of it? Ryan thinks for a moment. Come with me. There's something I want to show you. He leads her back through the mansion, down to a wing Emma hasn't seen yet. They enter a large study lined with books and filing cabinets. This is the family archive, Ryan explains, pulling out leather-bound journals. Every Whitmore for 6 generations has kept records. Of our bloodline, Our history, our rules. Here. He opens a journal dated 1847. This is my great-great-great-grandmother, Margaret Whitmore. She was the one who instituted the no-hunting policy after her youngest daughter was killed by vampire hunters. She decided that the cycle of violence between vampires and humans had to end. She established the rules we still follow. Never hunt humans, never kill unnecessarily, never turn someone without consent, never expose vampire existence carelessly. Emma reads Margaret's elegant handwriting, seeing the genuine anguish in her words as she describes losing her daughter. Seeing her determination to change what vampires were. Here, Ryan continues, opening another journal from the 1920s. This is my great-grandfather, Edmund. He was a doctor. He used his position to establish the first vampire blood bank network. Created a system where vampires could access donated human blood without harming anyone. That system still exists today. Most vampires in North America use it. More journals. More Whitmores trying to be better. Trying to find ways to exist without being monsters. Your family has been working on this for generations, Emma says slowly. Yes. Because we're not monsters, Em. We're people dealing with a difficult condition. A condition that requires blood to survive, yes. But that doesn't mean we have to be evil. My family has spent 200 years proving that. Emma sits with this information. If I choose option 1, if I stay, what would that mean? It would mean accepting what we are. Living with certain restrictions. We can't tell anyone else about vampires. We have to be careful about exposure. We'd eventually have to move before people noticed I wasn't aging. And eventually, if we got married, you'd face the choice of being turned or accepting that I'd outlive you by centuries. And if I chose to be turned, you'd become like us. Vampire. Immortal. Stronger, faster, but requiring blood to survive. You'd have to give up sunlight. It doesn't kill us immediately, but extended exposure is painful and eventually fatal. You'd have to leave your human life behind. Teaching, your friends, your family. You'd have to either cut ties or live very carefully around them. That's what you did? Cut ties with human friends. Mostly, yes. It's safer. Easier. Vampires tend to stick together. Sounds lonely. It can be. That's why Ryan trails off. Why you what? Why I risked telling you. Why I brought you here despite knowing how dangerous it could be. Because I'm tired of being alone, Em. Tired of hiding. I wanted to share my real life with someone. With you. I love you. And I thought maybe, just maybe, you could love me too. Even knowing what I am. Emma looks at this man, this vampire, who she's been dating for 8 months. Who makes her laugh, who listens to her problems, who remembers her birthday and brings her favorite flowers. Who is also, apparently, an immortal blood-drinking creature of the night. I need to think, she says finally. Can you leave me alone for a while? Ryan nods, looking sad. I'll be down the hall if you need me. Just call. After he leaves, Emma sits in the study, surrounded by 200 years of Whitmore family history. She should be terrified. Should be plotting escape. Should be absolutely refusing to accept any of this. But instead, she finds herself reading. Going through the journals chronologically, seeing the family's evolution. Seeing mistakes, seeing growth, seeing genuine attempts to be more than their nature demanded. She reads about Edmund's work establishing ethical blood sourcing. About Margaret's daughter, Elena, who married a human and carefully managed her vampire nature to raise children without them ever knowing what she was. About Richard's own father, who worked with human medical researchers to better understand vampire biology and find alternatives to blood consumption. The Whitmores weren't perfect, but they were trying. Had been trying for generations. There's a knock at the door. Lillian enters, looking hesitant. Mind if I sit? She asks. Emma gestures to a chair. They sit in silence for a moment. I know this is a lot, Lillian says finally. I've never been in your position. I was born vampire, so I never had to process the revelation. But I've watched Ryan struggle with when to tell you. Watched him agonize over bringing you here tonight. Why did your family make him tell me? Why force this? Because secrets like this don't stay hidden forever. Better to reveal the truth in a controlled setting than have you discover it accidentally. Better to give you real options than have the relationship built on lies. Even if those options include erasing my memory? Even then, at least you have a choice. Some vampire families don't give their partners that. Some just turn them without consent or kill them if they find out. The Whitmores try to be better than that. Emma considers this. Can I ask you something? Do you ever wish you weren't a vampire? Lillian thinks about it. Sometimes. Being different is hard. Never quite fitting in with humans. Having to hide what you are constantly. Knowing that most people would be terrified of you if they knew the truth. But then I think about the alternatives. I think about dying. About aging. About losing people. And I realize that immortality, even with its burdens, is a gift. I just wish it didn't require blood to maintain. Have you ever, Emma hesitates, killed someone? No. Never. My generation was raised on the new rules. We've never known any other way. But my grandparents, they remember the old days. They remember when vampires hunted freely. They've done things they're not proud of. That's why they're so strict about the rules now. They don't want us to repeat their mistakes. So your whole family is just trying to be good despite being vampires? Trying and mostly succeeding, yeah. We're not perfect. But we're not the monsters from horror stories either. We're just us. Living or existing, or whatever you want to call it. Trying to do the right thing despite our nature. After Lillian leaves, Emma continues reading. She finds references to other vampire families, some that followed the Whitmore model, some that didn't. She reads about vampire hunters, about accidental exposures, about the complex web of secrecy that keeps vampire existence hidden from the broader world. And slowly, impossibly, she starts to understand. The Whitmores are vampires. That's the objective fact. But they're also a family trying to live ethically despite being born into a predatory species. They're individuals making choices, some good, some less so, but generally trying to minimize harm. Is that really different from humanity? Humans are predators too, to animals, to each other, to the environment. The difference is just one of degree and dietary requirements. Dawn is breaking when Emma finally makes her decision. She finds Ryan in his bedroom, staring out the window at the sunrise he can only watch from behind thick curtains. I've decided, Emma says. Ryan turns, hope and fear warring on his face. And option 1. I'm staying. I'm accepting what you are. What your family is. I'm choosing to be part of this. Ryan's expression transforms. Disbelief, joy, relief. You mean it? You're not just saying that because you're scared. I'm terrified, Emma admits. But I'm also certain. I've spent all night reading your family history, seeing what you've built, understanding what you're trying to do. And I think you're right. You're not monsters. You're people dealing with an impossible situation and doing your best. That's worth staying for. You're worth staying for. Ryan crosses the room and embraces her. His skin is cool, his strength carefully controlled, but the emotion is entirely human. Thank you, he whispers. Thank you for giving me, a chance. I have conditions though, Emma says. Anything. Complete honesty from now on. No more secrets. About anything vampire-related. Agreed. And I'm not making any decisions about being turned until I've lived with this knowledge for at least a year. I need time to process, to understand what I'd be choosing. That's fair. And you have to teach me about vampire culture, history, biology, everything. If I'm going to be part of this world, I need to understand it. I can do that. Ryan pulls back, looking at her seriously. Are you sure? Because once you're in this, once you're part of vampire society, there's no going back to complete normalcy. Even if we break up, even if you never get turned, you'll always know this secret. Always be connected to this world. I know, Emma says. But I'm choosing it anyway. Because I love you. And because I think what your family is doing, trying to find ways for vampires to coexist peacefully with humanity, matters. If I can help with that, even in some small way, then it's worth the weirdness. They go downstairs together. The Whitmore family is gathered in the dining room again, this time with breakfast laid out, though Emma suspects it's just for show, for her benefit. Emma has made her decision, Ryan announces. Eleanor looks at Emma with those pale, ancient eyes. And I'm staying, Emma says. I accept what you are. I want to be part of this family. On certain conditions, which Ryan and I have discussed. The Whitmores exchange glances. Then Victoria smiles, genuinely this time. Welcome to the family, Emma. Truly welcome. We know this isn't easy. We know you're taking a leap of faith. But I think you'll find that we're worth it. One question though, Emma says. Why me? Why did you accept Ryan bringing a human into the family? You could have pushed him toward a vampire partner. Richard answers. Because we've spent generations learning that the only way to truly coexist with humanity is to have genuine connections with humans. To see you as individuals, as people worth protecting rather than just food sources. Ryan choosing a human partner, choosing you, is part of that evolution. It's scary, yes. It risks exposure. But it's also necessary for us to remain in touch with our humanity. Or what's left of our humanity, Marcus adds with dry humor. Over breakfast, which Emma eats while the Whitmores artfully pretend to, the family begins teaching Emma about their world. About vampire society's complex politics. About the different factions, some ethical, some not. About the constant balancing act of existing in a human world while being fundamentally different. Emma learns that vampires can't be photographed clearly. Some quantum property of their biology causes cameras to blur. That they can tolerate sunlight briefly but experience it as painful burning. That silver doesn't harm them, but blessed objects cause mild discomfort, psychosomatic, Eleanor insists, though others aren't sure. She learns about vampire senses, enhanced hearing, smell, vision. About their strength and speed, carefully controlled around humans. About how they age extremely slowly, appearing the same for decades before subtle changes occur. So you'll outlive me, Emma says to Ryan. By centuries, potentially. Unless you choose to be turned, Ryan says quietly. If I chose that, what would it be like? Painful, Sophia admits. She's the only one at the table who was turned rather than born vampire. 3 days of agony as your body transforms. Your DNA restructures. Your metabolism shifts. Then you wake up different. Stronger. Faster. Hungrier. The first few months are difficult. Learning control, learning to navigate the world with enhanced senses. But you adapt. Do you regret it? Emma asks her. Sophia considers. No. I love Marcus. Becoming vampire meant we could be together forever. And the Whitmores taught me to be ethical about my nature. Gave me purpose beyond just existing. I think I'm better as a vampire than I was as a human. But it's not a choice to make lightly. I won't, Emma promises. Not for a long time. But it's good to know it's an option. The morning stretches into afternoon. Emma calls in sick to work, family emergency, which is technically true. She spends the day immersed in vampire education, learning about a hidden world that's existed alongside humanity for millennia. It's overwhelming. It's terrifying. It's absolutely insane. But it's also, somehow, right. Because at the end of the day, after all the revelations and education, Emma looks at Ryan and sees the same person she fell in love with. The vampire thing adds complexity, adds danger, adds a whole hidden world to navigate. But it doesn't erase everything else. Love is complicated. Adding vampires to the mix just makes it more so. But Emma has never been someone who takes the easy path. That evening, as she and Ryan are preparing to drive back to the city, Eleanor pulls Emma aside. One more thing, the elderly vampire says. If you do this, if you truly commit to this family, to this world, you'll be choosing a life that most humans never experience. You'll see wonders. You'll live through centuries of history if you choose turning. You'll be part of something ancient and strange and beautiful. But you'll also carry the weight of our secrets, the knowledge of what we are, the constant vigilance that existence requires. Are you prepared for that? Emma thinks about her normal life. Teaching high school English, grading papers, attending faculty meetings. It's good. It's meaningful. It's also entirely ordinary. I'm prepared to try, she says. I can't promise I'll succeed. Can't promise I won't have moments of regret or terror. But I'm willing to try. Eleanor nods slowly. That's all we can ask. Welcome to the family, Emma Park. May you never regret this choice. As they drive away from Whitmore Manor, Emma looks back at the sprawling estate. At the house that holds 200 years of vampire history. At the family that raised Ryan to be more than a monster. So, Ryan says, breaking the silence. That went better than expected. Emma laughs, slightly hysterical. Your bar for going well is very low if that qualifies. Fair point. But you're still here. Still with me. That's more than I dared hope for. I'm here, Emma agrees. I'm absolutely terrified, completely overwhelmed, and probably going to have nightmares for months. But I'm here. Thank you, Ryan says quietly, for giving us a chance. For not running. For being brave enough to accept something impossible. Don't thank me yet. Wait until I've actually processed all this. Wait until I've figured out what being part of a vampire family actually means for my life. Wait until... Ryan reaches over and takes her hand. I'll wait. However long you need. We have time. Emma squeezes his hand back. Yeah, I guess we do. Literal centuries of time if I choose to be turned. No pressure, though. Oh, no pressure at all. Just deciding whether to become an immortal blood-drinking creature of the night. Totally casual decision. They drive in comfortable silence for a while. Then Emma says, "Can I ask you something?" Anything. Do you ever wish you were human? Wish you didn't have to hide what you are? Ryan considers this. Sometimes. Being different is hard. But then I think about what being human means. Aging, dying, having such limited time to experience the world. And I think maybe being vampire isn't so bad. We have challenges, yes. But we also have gifts. The key is using those gifts responsibly. That's what my family taught me. That's what I want to teach our children someday, if we have them. Vampire children? If you're turned, yes. If not, then human children who'd have to make their own choice about turning when they're older. Either way, they'd grow up knowing both worlds. Bridging that gap. Emma imagines it. A future where she's part of this strange hybrid world. Where she raises children who might be human or vampire or something in between. Where she lives alongside creatures that shouldn't exist but somehow do. It's terrifying. It's also kind of wonderful. Okay, she says finally. Let's do this. Let's figure out how to make this work. Together. Ryan smiles, and for a moment, in the evening light, Emma catches a glimpse of something inhuman in his expression. A reminder of what he truly is. But then the moment passes, and he's just Ryan again. Her boyfriend. The man she loves. Who happens to be a vampire. And somehow, that's okay. They drive into the sunset, which Ryan can tolerate behind the car's UV-protected glass, heading back to their normal lives that are now anything but normal. Behind them, Whitmore Manor fades into the distance. But its secrets, their secrets now, remain with Emma. She's been to dinner with her boyfriend's family, and discovered they all had the same secret. The only question now is what she'll do with that knowledge. But that's a question for tomorrow. Tonight, she's just a woman in love with a vampire, trying to figure out how to make an impossible relationship work. And that, somehow, feels like enough.